Welcome to Fluent Career English. Today we are going to practice an important professional communication skill. Our topic today is how to give feedback at work professionally in English. This lesson is designed for A2, B1 English learners who want to improve their workplace communication and speak more confidently in professional situations. In many workplaces, people give feedback during meetings, project discussions, and performance reviews. Feedback helps coworkers improve their work, learn new skills, and complete projects successfully. However, giving feedback requires careful communication. Professionals usually give feedback in a respectful, clear, and supportive way. In today's lesson, you will learn how to give positive feedback, how to suggest improvements politely, and how to communicate ideas clearly when reviewing someone's work. You will practice workplace conversations, useful vocabulary, sentence patterns, and speaking exercises. When you see the word repeat, say the sentence out loud so you can practice your speaking. Let's begin with a simple workplace conversation. Sophia, imagine a coworker completed an excellent project report. What would you say to give positive feedback?
I would compliment their work and explain what I liked about it.
That is a great approach.
Positive feedback helps coworkers feel appreciated.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing positive feedback. I think you did an excellent job on this report. I think you did an excellent job on this report. The information is clear and well organized. The information is clear and well organized. Your analysis helped the team understand the results better. Your analysis helped the team understand the results better. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's learn another way to give positive feedback. Professionals often explain the impact of someone's work. Let's listen to another conversation. Sophia, imagine a coworker improved the project workflow. What would you say?
I would explain how their idea helped the team.
That is a professional response.
Recognizing good ideas encourages teamwork.
Excellent. Let's practice expressing that idea. Your suggestion helped the team work more efficiently. Your suggestion helped the team work more efficiently. This improvement made the project process much clearer. This improvement made the project process much clearer. Thank you for contributing this idea to the team. Thank you for contributing this idea to the team. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's talk about another important skill, suggesting improvements. Sometimes feedback includes ideas for improving work. Professionals usually express these suggestions politely. Let's practice a workplace scenario. Sophia, imagine a coworker wrote a report, but some sections need improvement. What would you say?
I would first mention something positive and then suggest an improvement.
That is an excellent strategy.
It helps the conversation remain supportive.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. The report contains very useful information. The report contains very useful information. However, I think we could improve the clarity of the data section. However, I think we could improve the clarity of the data section. Adding a few examples might make the report easier to understand. Adding a few examples might make the report easier to understand. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's learn some useful vocabulary for giving feedback. Feedback. Feedback means comments or suggestions about someone's work. I would like to share some feedback about the project report. I would like to share some feedback about the project report. Improvement. Improvement means making something better. This suggestion could help improve the clarity of the report. This suggestion could help improve the clarity of the report. Suggestion. A suggestion is an idea for improvement. I would like to offer a suggestion that might strengthen the presentation. I would like to offer a suggestion that might strengthen the presentation. Excellent. Now let's practice another workplace scenario. Sophia, imagine a coworker prepared a presentation for a meeting. What feedback might you give?
I would explain what worked well and suggest small improvements.
That is very professional.
Balanced feedback helps people improve their work.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. Your presentation was very clear and informative. Your presentation was very clear and informative. The examples helped explain the topic effectively. The examples helped explain the topic effectively. Adding a short summary at the end could make the presentation even stronger. Adding a short summary at the end could make the presentation even stronger. Excellent speaking practice. Now it is your turn to practice speaking. Imagine your coworker completed a project report. You want to give helpful feedback. You can start like this. I think your report is very well organized. I think your report is very well organized. The analysis explains the project results clearly. The analysis explains the project results clearly. One suggestion might be to add a short summary at the end. One suggestion might be to add a short summary at the end. Excellent. Now let's discuss a common mistake when giving feedback. Some people give feedback that sounds too direct. For example, someone might say this. This report is not good. This statement may sound negative and unhelpful. A more professional response sounds constructive. The report contains useful information. The report contains useful information. However, adding more details could improve the clarity of the results. However, adding more details could improve the clarity of the results. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice a shadowing round. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences naturally. Giving constructive feedback helps coworkers improve their work. Giving constructive feedback helps coworkers improve their work.
Positive comments encourage teamwork and collaboration. Positive comments encourage teamwork and collaboration.
Suggestions for improvement help teams produce better results. Suggestions for improvement help teams produce better results.
Therefore, respectful feedback is important in professional environments. Therefore, respectful feedback is important in professional environments.
Excellent speaking practice. Now let's continue the conversation. Sophia, why is professional feedback important in the workplace?
Because feedback helps people learn and improve their performance.
That is correct.
When feedback is respectful, coworkers feel motivated to improve.
Excellent explanation. Let's practice expressing that idea. Professional feedback helps coworkers improve their work. Professional feedback helps coworkers improve their work. Respectful communication encourages learning and development. Respectful communication encourages learning and development. Therefore, constructive feedback is essential for teamwork. Therefore, constructive feedback is essential for teamwork. Excellent. Let's continue practicing how to give feedback at work professionally in English. In this section, we will practice giving feedback during meetings, project discussions, and team collaboration. In many workplaces, people give feedback when reviewing reports, presentations, and project updates. Clear and respectful feedback helps coworkers improve their work and achieve better results. Let's begin with a workplace scenario. Sophia, imagine your team is reviewing a project update during a meeting. A coworker presents their progress and asks for feedback. What would you say?
I would start by recognizing the positive aspects of their work.
That is a great strategy.
Positive feedback encourages coworkers to continue doing good work.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. Thank you for sharing this project update with the team. Thank you for sharing this project update with the team. I think the progress you described is very impressive. I think the progress you described is very impressive. The way you organize the information makes the project easier to understand. The way you organize the information makes the project easier to understand. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another situation. Sometimes feedback includes suggestions for improvement. Sophia, imagine the presentation was clear, but the conclusion could be stronger. What would you say?
I would mention what worked well and then suggest an improvement.
That is a professional approach.
It keeps the feedback supportive.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that idea. Your presentation explained the project clearly. Your presentation explained the project clearly. The examples help the team understand the main ideas. The examples help the team understand the main ideas. Perhaps adding a short conclusion could make the presentation even stronger. Perhaps adding a short conclusion could make the presentation even stronger. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another workplace scenario. Imagine a coworker created a project plan for the team. Sophia, how would you respond if you think the plan is good but could be improved?
I would explain what I like about the plan and suggest a small adjustment.
That is excellent communication.
Feedback should help improve the work without sounding negative.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. I think the structure of this project plan is very clear. I think the structure of this project plan is very clear. The timeline helps the team understand the schedule. The timeline helps the team understand the schedule. We might also consider adding a few additional checkpoints for progress review. We might also consider adding a few additional checkpoints for progress review. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's learn a few additional phrases professionals often use when giving feedback. I appreciate the effort you put into this project. I appreciate the effort you put into this project. Your work helped move the project forward. Your work helped move the project forward. I would like to suggest one small improvement. I would like to suggest one small improvement. Excellent. Now let's practice another realistic workplace conversation. Sophia, imagine a coworker asks for feedback about a report they prepared. What would you say?
I would review the report and give both positive feedback and suggestions.
That is a balanced response.
Balanced feedback helps people learn and improve.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. The report explains the project results very clearly. The report explains the project results very clearly. The data analysis is detailed and informative. The data analysis is detailed and informative. Adding a short summary at the end could help highlight the key points. Adding a short summary at the end could help highlight the key points. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's discuss another common mistake when giving feedback. Sometimes people focus only on criticism. For example, someone might say this: "This presentation needs a lot of improvement." This feedback sounds negative and may discourage coworkers. A more professional response is constructive. The presentation includes useful information. The presentation includes useful information. Adding a few more examples could make the ideas even clearer. Adding a few more examples could make the ideas even clearer. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another shadowing round. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences naturally. Constructive feedback helps coworkers improve their work. Constructive feedback helps coworkers improve their work.
Positive comments encourage teamwork and motivation. Positive comments encourage teamwork and motivation.
Suggestions for improvement help teams achieve better results. Suggestions for improvement help teams achieve better results.
Therefore, respectful feedback supports professional growth. Therefore, respectful feedback supports professional growth.
Excellent speaking practice. Now let's continue the conversation. Sophia, why is balanced feedback important in professional environments?
Because balanced feedback recognizes good work while encouraging improvement.
That is correct.
When feedback is respectful, coworkers feel motivated to improve.
Excellent explanation. Let's practice expressing that idea. Balanced feedback helps coworkers understand their strengths. Balanced feedback helps coworkers understand their strengths. It also provides ideas for improvement. It also provides ideas for improvement. Therefore, constructive feedback improves teamwork and performance. Therefore, constructive feedback improves teamwork and performance. Excellent. In this final section, we will practice longer conversations about giving feedback professionally at work. You will learn how to respond during team discussions, how to give constructive suggestions, and how to communicate feedback clearly and respectfully. In professional environments, feedback is often shared during meetings, project reviews, and collaborative discussions. The goal of feedback is not criticism. The goal is improvement, learning, and better teamwork. Let's begin with a workplace conversation. Sophia, imagine your team has completed a major project and the team is reviewing the results. What would you say to provide helpful feedback?
I would start by recognizing the team's effort and the positive results.
That is an excellent approach.
Recognizing good work helps build motivation.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that idea. I would like to recognize the excellent work the team completed on this project. I would like to recognize the excellent work the team completed on this project. The results show strong collaboration and organization. The results show strong collaboration and organization. The team's effort helped the project succeed. The team's effort helped the project succeed. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another situation. Sometimes feedback includes suggestions for improving future projects. Sophia, imagine your team completed a successful project, but communication could be improved. What would you say?
I would explain the positive results and then suggest a small improvement.
That is very professional.
It keeps the feedback balanced and constructive.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. The team did an excellent job completing this project. The team did an excellent job completing this project. Communication during the project was generally clear and helpful. Communication during the project was generally clear and helpful. For future projects, we might consider scheduling more regular progress updates. For future projects, we might consider scheduling more regular progress updates. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice another workplace scenario. Imagine a coworker asks for feedback about their presentation during a meeting. Sophia, how would you respond?
I would explain what I liked about the presentation and suggest one improvement.
That is a great strategy.
Constructive feedback helps coworkers improve their communication skills.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that idea. Your presentation explained the topic very clearly. Your presentation explained the topic very clearly. The examples help the audience understand the key points. The examples help the audience understand the key points. Adding a short summary at the end could make the presentation even stronger. Adding a short summary at the end could make the presentation even stronger. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's discuss another important skill: responding to feedback conversations professionally. During discussions, coworkers may have different opinions about improvements. In these situations, respectful communication is essential. Sophia, imagine a coworker suggests changes to your project plan. What would you say?
I would listen carefully and thank them for their suggestion.
That is a professional response.
Feedback can help improve the final results.
Exactly. Let's practice expressing that response. Thank you for sharing your feedback about the project plan. Thank you for sharing your feedback about the project plan. Your suggestion provides a helpful perspective. Your suggestion provides a helpful perspective. I will review your idea and consider how it can improve the plan. I will review your idea and consider how it can improve the plan. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's discuss another common mistake when giving feedback. Sometimes people give feedback that is too general. For example, someone might say this: "Good job." This statement is positive, but it does not explain what was good. A stronger response provides specific feedback. The report explains the project results very clearly. The report explains the project results very clearly. Your analysis helped the team understand the data more effectively. Your analysis helped the team understand the data more effectively. Excellent speaking practice. Now let's practice a longer shadowing round. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences naturally. Constructive feedback helps coworkers improve their performance. Constructive feedback helps coworkers improve their performance.
Positive comments encourage teamwork and motivation. Positive comments encourage teamwork and motivation.
Suggestions for improvement help teams achieve better results. Suggestions for improvement help teams achieve better results.
Therefore, respectful feedback is essential in professional environments. Therefore, respectful feedback is essential in professional environments.
Excellent speaking practice. Now let's have one final conversation. Sophia, why do you think feedback is important for professional development?
because feedback helps people learn from their experiences and improve their skills.
That is correct.
When feedback is clear and respectful, coworkers feel motivated to improve.
Excellent explanation. Let's practice expressing that idea. Feedback helps professionals improve their work and develop new skills. Feedback helps professionals improve their work and develop new skills. Respectful communication encourages learning and collaboration. Respectful communication encourages learning and collaboration. Therefore, constructive feedback supports professional growth. Therefore, constructive feedback supports professional growth. Excellent. Now it is time for the final speaking challenge. Imagine your coworker asks for feedback about a project report. Explain what you liked about the report and suggest one improvement. Listen to this example answer. Your report explains the project results very clearly. Your report explains the project results very clearly. The examples help readers understand the main ideas. The examples help readers understand the main ideas. One suggestion might be to add a short summary to highlight the key conclusions. One suggestion might be to add a short summary to highlight the key conclusions. Now it is your turn. Imagine you are giving feedback about a coworker's presentation or report. Describe what worked well and suggest a helpful improvement. Take a moment and say your answer out loud. Excellent work. Today you practiced how to give positive feedback, suggest improvements politely, and communicate ideas respectfully at work. These communication skills are extremely valuable for teamwork, leadership, and professional growth. The more you practice these conversations, the more confident you will become when speaking English in professional environments. Thank you for learning with us on Fluent Career English. Keep practicing, keep improving, and keep building your confidence in English for your career.